A Navy family's 5-year quest will turn their tragedy into treatment for sailors and Marines in mental health crisis.
Now, the Secretary of the Navy has ordered the implementation of the Brandon Act, improving access to resources and the protection of privacy. Investigative reporter Chris Horn has reaction from the parents who refuse to take no for an answer. Chris?
Tom, Patrick, and Terry Caserta made it their mission to transform their loss into a gain for other military members and their loved ones. Their son Brandon died by suicide on Naval Station Norfolk. The Navy and Marines are now the first armed services to implement the Brandon Act.
It puts pressure on the commands to do the right thing.
5 years after their son Brandon took his own life while on active duty, the Navy is moving forward with major mental health reform. Sailors and Marines can now seek mental health evaluations on their own, and COs and supervisors must ensure service members understand how to request an evaluation, ensure they get a provider as soon as practicable, treat mental health referrals just like medical services, maintain privacy and reduce stigma by not requesting results.
The stigma of asking and getting help is awful because they get retaliated against.
And leaders will have to get training to recognize personnel who may be in crisis. So they'll be the ones responsible if they don't follow the rules.
Especially if something bad was to happen, or even an attempt, not necessarily a death, they're going to be held accountable for this stuff from this day forward.
Senator Tim Kaine, a member of the Armed Services Committee, supported the legislation from the beginning.
As in Brandon's case, the mental health issues were driven by a toxic chain of command. So people have to have mechanisms where they can seek assistance outside the chain of command.
Evidence that it's already working. A parent who contacted the Casertas says her Navy daughter invoked the Brandon Act Monday and now has medication and a mental health treatment plan.
She said, without our pushing for the Brandon Act, she doesn't believe her daughter would be getting the help that she is now getting that she couldn't get before the Brandon Act.
The Army, Air Force, and Coast Guard will have to fall in line with the Brandon Act as well.
Now we just need to make sure that the Navy and Marines execute it in a good fashion.
And the Casertas also believe the Brandon Act will help the Navy and Marines and eventually the rest of all the military with recruiting. They believe it will also be a gateway for people to see what resources are available. And we have them right now on wavy.com. Chris Horn, 10 on your side.